All right, Shalom. This is Harawan by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is a quick edification on the days of the week. All right. Now, what I want to go through, Yahweh Ratazah, which means Yahweh willing, is the days of the week in their pagan terms, and then translate them into the Hebrew. All right, and I'm gonna go into a little brief history on the days of the week. All right, now you have you have what, Sunday, which is they're paying homage to the sun idol Zeus. All right, or what they call solstice evictus. All right, which is go back to Zeus. All right, which are all pagan idols. Monday, the moon, they're paying homage to the moon. Tuesday, they're paying homage to Mars. See that? Wednesday, that's what you get your Santa Claus from. All right, a Satan Claus, which is Mercury. Thor, which they pay homage to Jupiter, which you see in the sky all the time. You see Jupiter all the time. Freya, Friday, they paying homage to Freya, which is Venus. And Saturn, which is Saturday, all right? It goes back to Saturn. So these are all pagan idols, man. All right? What they call Greek mythology. Okay? Now, all right, now this is, I'm going to go to the top. Deuteronomy 4:1. Now, therefore, hearken, O Israel. See, that's the separation for the children of Israel. We're not supposed to pay homage to the sun, moon, and stars. But these things, the sun, moon, stars, and the planets, they're used for what? For harvest, for judging when to harvest, to tell time, to tell the seasons, right? But Esau, they went out to what? Change the times and seasons, to change the laws, all right? Now, check this out. It says, now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which Yahweh power your fathers giveth you. All right. So now, right here it says, this is 15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on that day, on the day that Yahweh spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire. All right, so they didn't see any of these idols. All right, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any creature, of any figure, the likeness of male or female. All right, now I'm gonna skip down. It says, unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which Yahweh thy power have divided unto all nations under the whole earth. Right? See that? So Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai is our power, man. You see that? These sun, moon, and stars, that's for all man upon earth. You know, it's used to tell the times and the seasons. But these heathens, they use it for different reasons. They of course we know they worship the shit, but they switched it and started judging their time and their market times according to the sun instead of the moon, right? The calendar of the moon. Now, who did that? That was a guy named, an Edomite named Julius Caesar. This is, it says the Julian calendar. Now that's what we use today. They call it the Gregorian calendar because it was amended by Pope Gregory the 8th or the 13th. All right. He fixed the whole. He didn't fix it, but he tried to amend or adjust or correct the whole leap year process. All right, every 4 years you get an extra few days or something like that. Now, you had Julius Caesar. It was called what? The Julian calendar. All right. Now, he became the Caesar through what you call the triumvirate. All right, he was one of the army generals that was ruling. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was southern Gaul, and then he later took northern Gaul. All right, to outbid Pompey over Greece for the spot for consul. All right, of Greece. Okay, so he gained power through that way, and once he became the Caesar, right, the ruler in Rome, he changed the calendar. All right, he changed the calendar for what they call the market calendar. At that time, they went by the market calendar. The market calendar had extra days in the damn week, had extra months in the year. You know, matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a glimpse of that real quick. All right, this right here was the original calendar of Rome. Once they pulled it away from the Hebrew calendar, what they went by was their market terms. You see right here, I don't know if you can really see it over here. It says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. See that? So if you count it, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that would be 7 days. And H would be 8 days. All right, so they went by an 8-day calendar. I don't know if you can see it over here. Right here on the side. All right, and they added in the next extra day. See that NON? NON, NON. And that would change every year. All right, it would be on a different day every year. All right. So that day would land in a different time throughout the week every year. Okay. So this time it landed on E. Next year would be on maybe skip down to A. All right, or H. You see that? So that was their calendar that they went by. You see up top it says January, February, March, April, May. You got an extra month. It says sex. You see that? Sex. All right, pagan. September, October, November, December, and they got an extra month. So this calendar we're going by today is all scrambled up too, man. So check this out. It says ancient Roman calendars. Fasti Antiets Biores, painting of the Roman calendar about 60 BC. And that was the time Julius Caesar was on the scene. All right, he started ruling around 60 BC. All right, and he died around 45 BC. Well, he was killed before the Julian reform. All right, so you had the Julian reform. Observe enlarged that it contains the month quintilis, QVI. See, that's extra month. Quintilis and sextilis, SEX, and displays the intercalary month enter as the far right hand column. So that's the extra month enter. All right, check this out, man. It says here the Julian calendar proposed by Julius Caesar in so basically it'd be 46 BC. All right. So around 46 BC was a reform of the Roman calendar. It took effect on January 1st, 45 BC by an edict, all right, which is basically like a policy that was put in place. It was designed with the aid of Greek mathematicians and Greek astronomers, such as Sosigenes, goodness, of Alexandria. So they came up with this calendar based upon math, Greek math, and pagan astronomy. It says right here, what is the Julian calendar based on? The Julian calendar was the 365-day calendar, just that Julius Caesar made official in 46 BC. It replaced a calendar based on lunar cycles. You see that? See, originally we went by what? The lunar cycle, which would help with the harvest, all right, buying and selling, the Sabbath, so on and so on. Now, you had in, 146 BC, you had the transition of Greek to the Roman Empire. And in the midst of that, you still had the Hasmonean dynasty going. All right, all the way to about 45 BC. You know, when Aristobulus III was ruling over Jerusalem. So you still had our calendar in play, but it was like a co-rulership between the Roman Empire and the Hasmonean dynasty. All right, to the end of it, going into the time of Herod. All right, so they were doing away with our calendar. All right, and it says the Julian calendar provided for a leap year with an extra day every 4 years. So that was the leap year situation. They couldn't get the calendar correct. And before, they had December was in where January was, and September was October. It's all crazy, man. Even today, a decimal, right, represents a tenth. Or December would represent 10, but they got it at the 12th month. Okay. So you can see the confusion. The adjustment ordered by Pope Gregory The adjustment ordered by Pope Gregory in October 1582, so it was the 1500s, subtracted 10 days from the calendar. That's what I was talking about earlier. Pope Gregory the 13th. He, amended or adjusted the calendar. And that's the calendar we deal with today, of when the subtraction of 10 days from the calendar, all right, to adjust their leap years. So Esau been messing with the calendar, man. And they changed it from the lunar calendar, which lunar is based on what? The moon cycles, all right, which is a perfect calendar in the sky, all right, given to man. Now, but not to be worshipped. Then you have the lunar calendar, which goes back to what they call the solar calendar. So like I said, lunar. You have the solar calendar, which goes back to a pagan idol named Sol Invictus. All right, I'm going to get into that as well. This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. And the Roman Empire was doing that. Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and ultimately America is speaking great words against the truth. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And the Roman Empire wore our people out. All right, especially with the triumvirate with Julius Caesar and up to America, the next Rome, America. It says, they shall wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and the times and the dividing of times. So they thought to change the times and the laws, and that's what they've done. They changed the calendar around and the laws, created their own laws. All right. Now, Just to back that up, you have Julius Caesar that messed with the calendar. Of course, the Persians messed with it, the Babylonians, and so on and so on. But when we came out of Egypt, the Lord gave us a calendar. He gave us a calendar according to the moon. And he said this month was going to be the beginning of months to you. And that was around springtime, the month of Bib, Ab Yabah. It means to spring up. And that's the time when the Lord brought us out, gave us the calendar. The moon, the new moon, and the sun and the stars, the arrangement and the order of them were already in place since the beginning of the creation. But it's just the Lord had to teach us about it. That's it. So you had these Egyptologists that say, "Hey, y'all stole our calendar. Y'all was using our calendar before you came out of Egypt." That don't matter. Just like we were in America using this pagan calendar until the Lord woke us up to the Hebrew calendar, to the lunar calendar. You see that? So now when you go to work, you might be dealing with the pagan calendar, which goes back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and all that, where they have Sunday as the first day, and then sometimes they have it as the seventh day. So it's confusion, man. All right. Now that we know about the lunar calendar, we're able to keep our Sabbaths correctly, to the best of our ability. All right. The holy days a little better, the best of our ability. All right. Be able to set up at least an arrangement to the process, and being able to speak the truth when it comes to the sun, moon, and stars. That they're just tools to look at and to use, just like the hands on your watch. All right. Legal reforms. So this was a legal reform by Constantine. All right. Constantine was a Jake that built what you call Constantinople. All right. Over there near, I always forget the name of that shit, over there near Turkey. But he built Constantinople, and he wanted to build it in reflection of the Roman Empire that fell, the Western Roman Empire. So he was paying a lot of homage to the pagans due to his mother being a pagan. And he called himself a Christian, which we weren't supposed to be called Christians. That was just a terminology that Esau took on, all right, after they called Paul and Barnabas Christians. So they twisted it and added their paganism into Christianity, what they call Christianity. And Constantine took it and molded them together in what he called the ecumenical councils, the world councils of Christianity. And that's when they added in their paganism and their mythology. All right. They added in the Virgin Mary. They added in the Holy Trinity. All right. You had the Edict of Milan. And you had this legal reform where he made it illegal to open your market or shops on Sunday. So he made Sunday the Sabbath day. All right. They made Sunday the Sabbath day instead of going according to the new moon, the seventh day, after the the first day of the new moon, the evening. So instead, they paid homage on Sunday. So you people that go to church on Sundays and all this, and see the stores closed down, and you might be off on Sunday. All right, they call it Good Sunday. Well, check this out. This is why people go to church on Sunday. Constantine's laws enforced and reflected his Christian attitude. On March 7th, 321 AD. So the Council of Nicaea was held in 325 BC. All right. It says on Sunday, mind you, Julius Caesar put that in place, all right, which was not sacred to Christians, but was sacred to the Roman sun god Sol Invictus, was declared an official day of rest. All right, so that was on March 7th, 321 AD. That's when Constantine made a reform, contractual. The word legal means contractual reform, that every the rest day was going to be paying homage to an idol called Soli Victus. It's crazy. All right, because before this, we went by the moon. All right, according to the moon, we didn't worship the moon like these heathens do, like the Babylonians were doing, and the Assyrians. They were worshiping the moon, giving it idol names and shit like that. All these idols and all this idolatry goes back to the beginning, man. All right, they just cover it up, and it's all the worship of the planets. It says, Constantine's laws enforced and reflected his Christian attitudes. Now, and at that same time, you had the crucifixion that they was doing in the Roman Empire. As it fell, Constantine banned crucifixions, hanging people up on the cross. And he's the one that outlawed it and moved everybody into what? Hanging people. All right. So that's what they said, hanging on the tree, but he was really hanging on the cross. The scriptures say hanging on the tree because they added that in there. Then you have in America, when they call themselves the Christian Crusaders and all this mess, they were hanging people. All right. So it says crucifixion was abolished for reasons of Christian piety, but was replaced with hanging to demonstrate preservation of Roman supremacy. So he was trying to keep that Roman mind state. All right, keep that spirit of Rome going, just like America's doing. So on March 7th, 321, this Sunday, which was not sacred to Christians, but was sacred to the Roman sun idol Soli Victus, was declared an official day of rest. On that day, markets were banned and public offices were closed. And that's what the Lord told us to teach out in the public offices, going to the gates of the nobles. All right. And into the markets, the highways and byways. But he said all that was closed on those days, just like today in America. They close everything down on Sundays, except for the purpose of freeing slaves. There were, however, no restrictions on performing farming work, which was the work of the great majority of the population on Sundays. All right, so this is how the whole Sunday process came into play, and where people deal with Sunday as the Sabbath, as a day of rest. All right, and they pay homage to these pagan idols throughout the week. You know, and they moved it from the lunar calendar, which is biblical, and they moved it to what? The pagan calendar. All right, this is Psalms 104 and 19. I'm gonna keep it simple. He appointed the moon for seasons. See that? So the moon is supposed to tell your times and your seasons and your holy days and your feasts and your harvest. All right. The sun knoweth his going down. All right. And the sun is set up for what? In orbit with the moon. So when the moon goes down, the sun comes up right at that midpoint. All right. And shining of their light. I want to do a lesson on that as well. You know, what light is. But I'm gonna keep going. So the sun and the moon are set in orbit by the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai. That's why he said don't worship those things, but we're supposed to use those things. All right, it's appointed to us for times and seasons. This is Genesis 1 and 13. In the evening and the morning were the third day. Right, so this represents the 3,000th year of creation, or of the planets. There's the sun, moon, and stars. In the beginning, he created the sun, moon, and the earth. All right, simultaneously. And then he put them in motion. Like he created man, then he gave them order through Adam. He created the animals, you know, then he put them in order and said, populate, be fruitful and populate, right? And gave some to the land, some to the water. and some to the air. He created the plants and the herbs. He had a mist coming out of the ground, and at night it would get cold. That's what you call dew in the morning dew, the moisture. All right, so that's how he watered the earth and spring the earth. But then you had the sun and the moon that was already set in place, but it's sun rays reaching out to the earth. That's what the Lord used the sun for, and I'm gonna do a lesson on that. And with the moon for the nighttime, for the nocturnal animals, all right, and to tell us our harvest, and so on and so on, man, to reflect the light of the sun, all right. Even though it has its own light, it's like at nighttime you have them glow toys, but you have to absorb the sunlight first, all right, into the toy, and then it glows at night. That's how the moon is. It absorbs the sunlight, it keeps it, and it reflects it. It gives out light as well. All right. So not to go into too much, but this is what happened on the third day. He put it in order. The sun and the moon were already created, man. All right. He put them in order on this day. All right, in this time. So 14, it says, and Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven. So those lights in the firmament, just like today, you have to go outside of the firmament to find the sun and the moon. So what is it talking about in the firmament? It's talking about how he adjusted how the light will affect the earth. How is it going to affect the earth to man? He created its process in the heavens, the shining on the earth and all these different things, the shining on each other, the orbit around each other. But what is it going to be in reflection to man upon earth? How is the light going to hit our eyes as the sunbeam, as the evening, as the sunset, sunrise, as the moon, new moon waxing, waning? Is it going to show to us, not show to us? You get what I'm saying? The tides, the rising of the tides, lowering of the tides, the magnetic pull of the ocean. All right, the growing of our crops with the sun. So this was all controlled. This all had to be created by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua from the heavens and upon earth. All right. And Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So he put them in order. He said, this is going to be for times and seasons, or signs and seasons. All right. Of which Esau has played the devil, the deceiver, and changed the times and seasons. All right. The order of the sun, moon, and stars. You see that, man? That's why and let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. All right. So, and it says, and Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. All right. Where it says he made the two great lights. What it means is he put them in order. All right. It says, Asha. It means to make, to do, to fashion, to accomplish, to make, to do, work, make, produce, to do, to work, to deal, to act with effect. See, putting in motion. Effect, to make, produce, to prepare, to make an offering, to attend to, put in order, to observe, celebrate, to acquire, to appoint, ordain. See that? He put the sun and the moon and the stars in order on the third day, or the fourth, whatever that day that was. I think it was the third day. All right, the fourth day. He put everything in order. So this stuff was already created on the first day, because you couldn't have a first day without the sun and the moon. All right. And I'm going to do a lesson on that. You couldn't have a first day, and then after that, 1,000 years, and then another second day, 1,000 years, and the third day, So you have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, all the way to 1,000 years for us. But to the Lord, that's just one day. You see that? So it took 7,000 years for the earth and sun and the moon to be created, which would be 7,000 years to us, 7 days to the Lord. See that? This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, all right? For not by their calendars either. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, right? Our people fell away in 70 AD after Esau came in and burned down our temple, right? And erased all our history. All right, started whitewashing all our stuff all the way from 70 AD, and then later on in the 1600s. So we fell away as a nation, all right? And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Now he's being revealed in these times, the time of revelations, revealing of people like Julius Caesar or their trickery and their paganism, their Greek mindset that really came into fruition after Alexander, and then going into the Roman Empire. All right, and the Roman Empire was established in the 8th century BC, and you have the Greek Empire was fully established after Alexander with the Diadochi in 312 BC, and they came together. Rome took Greece in as a province in 146 BC. All right, so that pagan mindset is still pushed today, and we still see the evidence of it today. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called power, man, or that is worshipped, so that he as the power, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. All right, so Esau, man, they're prideful. All right, and it was a ruler over that Roman area. They called him something with a T. It's something to proud. Like, that's just in their spirit, man. They prideful, man. And, you know, it changed the times and the seasons and the laws to whatever they want. Sheesh, you know. What's that song? I give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars, and the mountain. You know, you tell somebody you can do it, you really could do it. That's what Esau can do right now. They'll take mountains and put their face on it. Look at Mount Rushmore. All right. And they changed the times and the laws and the seasons, man. And they calling themselves the real Jews when they're not. All right. They're imposters. And even their calendar is a farce or fake or phony or a device, man's imagination. This is 2 Peter 1 and 16. For we have not followed cunningly devised fables, man, when we made known unto you the power and coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, but were eyewitnesses of his majesty. All right. So it's all about telling the truth, man. Why? John 8 and 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free, man. And that's the whole focus of the lesson, to free the minds of anybody that's listening. Or if they already know this, to enhance their understanding even more through edification, through the building up of the tabernacle of King David, of love, of order under Yahushua. This is Sirach 43 and 1. The pride of the height, the clear firmament, the beauty of heaven with its glorious show, right? The firmament so high and exalted, it shows how small man is, all right? The sun, when it appeareth, declaring at his rising a marvelous instrument. So what is it called? An instrument. Just like you use your trumpet or a tool, it's an instrument, all right? It has to be controlled and set in order. It's not to be worshipped, you know, or given a personality or a face. You know, people draw faces on the sun and shit like that. Or they talk to the sun. Like, the Lord don't like that, man. All right. The work of the Most High. This is Exodus 23:13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect. That means pay attention to everything around you. All right. 360. And make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. And they got our people trespassing every day when they saying these pagan gods. Even us, we saying when we saying Monday, Tuesday, and all that. These are pagan idols, man. You see that? But to pay homage to it and respect to it, that's even worse. So that's why the Lord has to do away with these damn devils. He has to do away with their language, everything they built up. All right? Because he say what? 2 Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh, right? The true power to the pulling down of strongholds. And where the strongholds are at? Through these idols in the minds of our people. And to pull down those strongholds, we have to go into the minds of our people. All right? Casting down imaginations. See that? All these imaginations that Esau thought of and these heathens thought of and 2/3 of our people have thought of. And in every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shai. All right. So that's the thing, to bring in the truth. All right. The truth about the calendar, the truth about their deception and their covering up of the truth, man. All right. Sirach 43:2. The sun, when it appeareth, declaring at his rising, a marvelous instrument, the work of the Most High. So what is it called? The work of the Most High. All right. He gave that power to Yahweh Shai to create it. All right. And it says, at noon it parcheth the country, and who can abide the burning heat thereof? A man blowing a furnace in his works of heat, but the sun burneth the mountains 3 times more, breathing out fiery vapors and sending forth bright beams, it dimmeth the eyes. So that's a process, the fiery vapors, because that's how the sun looks, like a white light, of fiery vapors, of what you call helium, all right, gases, and sending forth bright beams, man. And that's very important, and it dims the eyes. That's what you call UV rays, all right, ultraviolet light. And it dims the eyes. So that's the effect it has upon man. Great is the Lord that made it. So Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And at his commandment, right? At his commandment, it runneth hastily. You see that? So the Lord don't like it when you pay homage to his creation and not the creator. All right. This is Romans 1:25. Who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie. All right. And who did that? Esau. He changed it into a lie. And 2/3 of our people followed after that philosophy and those lies and that deception, causing our people to be what? Destroyed. And it says, who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie and worshiped this and served the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. So people began to what? Worship the creature, the creation. They began to worship people. They worship the damn plants. They worship the animals, like the Hindus. They worship 4-footed beasts and creeping things. They worship imaginations. They worship the devil. They worship the planets. All right, even the weather. You see that, man? In their own imagination that they created. All right, they worship all these things. They worship the creature instead of the creator, which is Yahweh. And he gave all power of creation to Yahweh Shai. Sirach 43:6. Oh, it's 5. Great is the Lord that made it, and at his commandment runneth hastily. So the reason we have an orbit of the planets and the sun, moon, and stars is because Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, put it in motion. All right. And the earth is spinning. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. All right. So he made the sun, then he made the moon and caused it to give her his light. What you call waxing, waning, crescent moon, and he set that process up, man. It's called the bending of light, like a light bender. Have the sun hitting the moon a certain way and have it reflect to our eyes a certain way. All right. It says, and a sign of the world, for the moon is the sign of feast. That's your holy days and your Sabbaths. A light that decreaseth in her perfection. All right. Waxing, waning, crescent moon, full moon, new moon. It starts a new month. You can't have the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing. See, perfect. In the process of the light changing on the moon, and where it reflects to our eyes, and we see a half moon, crescent moon, new moon, whatever. Being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. All right. So where's the shining heaven? The shining happens in the firmament, but the moon and the sun are out there in the Shemayim. All right. I think the sun is like 150,000 kilometers away. So, it's an instrument and they shine into the earth, all right, into the firmament. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars. So it means it shines at night. An ornament giving light in the highest place of the Lord. An ornament represents something that's being hung in space, man. All right, round object, just like the earth. At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their in their order, and never faint in their watches. So that would happen. That's happened on the fourth day. All right. But these were created on the first day. All right. And that shining process and the order was placed on the fourth day. But Esau sought to change all of this through what? Deception. Why? Because the proof is still there. The sun and the moon is still in order. Everything is still in place. Even the deception of Esau. All right. You can see it. All right. So you have, now this where it gets tricky, because you have the day that they call Sunday, which they give homage to the sun. It's crazy, man. It's vanity. All right. Well, Sunday, they use that as the seventh day, and they use it as the first day. So it gets confusing. A lot of you jakes out there that claim to be in the truth, that celebrate your Sabbaths on Saturday, you're using Sunday as the first day and Saturday as the seventh day, which still pays homage to what? Saturn. All right. So what are we to go by? The new moon. And when the new moon lands, from evening to the next evening, all right, that following evening, you have what? The beginning of the first day. All right. And that's how time started in general. That's how the order of the sun, moon, and stars started with a new moon. All right. If you understand that, you understand the beginning of time. The new moon, now you have what? Monday. All right, which would be the moon day, as we read earlier. But we're gonna start with Sunday. All right. Sunday, which would be the first day or the seventh day. So it's, anyway. So it would be let's say for instance, you said Akkad. All right. It would be Yawam Akkad. All right. which means what? Day 1. All right, reading it from right to left. So this would be day, and this would be the number 1. And that's how the Bible, that's how we told our days in the Hebrew. And you have months, you have Hebrew months. And I would do a lesson on that probably too, but right now I'm dealing with the week. All right. So you have day 1, then you have Monday, which would be what? Shanya. All right. I think it's an H. I can't remember. I think it's Shanya, which would mean Yawam, which means day 2. All right. You have Tuesday, and that would be Shalash Yawam, which would be day 3. All right. Then you have Wednesday, which I hate that damn day. Even the way it sounds, Wednesday. I used to always hate that growing up, man. Made no sense. But that pays homage to the damn demon Woden. All right, check this out. So this would be Arabai. All right, Arabai Yawam. And that's day 4. All right, Arabai is 4. Day 4. All right, Thursday. Yeah, they pay homage to Thor. All right, which they're not real. These are just idols, Greek mythology. And that day would be Kamash. All right, Kamash, which is the number for what? 5. So it'd be, Salaki, Yawam. So it'd be day 5. All right. Then you have, what's next? Friday. All right, where they pay homage to Freya, which is another Greek idol. But that day should be said as Shabai. Oh, Salak is Shasha. All right, Shasha Yawam. Shasha Yawam, or Yawam Shasha, which means day 6. Then you have Saturday, which would be, you could use that as the 7th day, or they could use Sunday as the 7th day. You see how you get confusing? All right, because they in America, they rest on Sunday, which would make it the 7th day, and they'll use Monday as the beginning of the work week. See the confusion? But if you look at a lot of calendars, you have Sunday at the beginning of the week. Or if you ask a Jake, when do they celebrate their Sabbath, they'll say Saturday, making Saturday the 7th day. So it's confusion, man. You ask IUIC, they celebrate theirs on Saturday. So what are you supposed to go by? The new moon, all right? So anyway, so let's say, for instance, this was the 7th day, all right? It would be Shabai, all right? Shabai Yawam, or Yawam Shabai, which means basically the 7th day, all right? Or it would be the Shabbat, which means rest, all right? And this equals what? Rest, all right? And then you have week in the Hebrew would be Shabbat Wa'ai, all right? Or Shabbat Wa'ayim, which would be weeks or week, all right? Shabbat Wa'ai, it would be Yawam I'm gonna write it the wrong direction, but Yawam Ma Atha Shaba Wa'ai. So days of the week. All right. So this would be days of the week. Or you can say Ha Shaba Wa'ai, which would be the week. All right. So this is Leviticus 23:1. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, as we do today. We speak, our voice is still unto the children of Israel. And say unto them concerning the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. And the Sabbath is one of those feasts, what you call solemn assemblies. All right. 6 days shall work be done. All right. So that's how you have days or weeks. You can't have weeks without days. And you can't have days without weeks or without a moon or a sun. That process has to be created for the days to even exist, for you to have day 1, day 2, day 3. All right. So the word moon, the word month comes from the word what? Moon. So you have a new moon, and then you have what? Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, and your Sabbath. All right. So you can't have a whole week without having a new month first, a new moon. So they're going according to a whole completely wrong calendar. All right. In this world. It says, even these are my feast. 6 days shall work be done. All right. In your markets and your farming and such. So this was the true market calendar. All right. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the rest. And holy convocation, ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. Genesis 2:2. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day, Elohim ended their work, which they had made. We're really supposed to be, it says he was talking about Yahweh being the leader of these powers, all right, under Yahweh. And he rested on the 7th day from all his work, so 7,000th year, which he had made. And Elohim blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work, which Elohim created and made. All right, so this is a reflection of the creation. All right, us resting for 7 days. On the 7th day, as Yahweh Bashim Yahushai rested at the 7,000th year from his work upon earth. All right, and the creation and establishing of the heavens and earth. So today we're supposed to still reflect that. But in this society, that's why you had Yahushai come and die for our sins, because you can't keep that Sabbath perfectly. You might have to work on that day. You see, that's why we got to be freed from bondage. We got to be freed to be able to exist the way we want to. Esau's in the way. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. All right. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved, man. All right. So this Esau, and they have the same spirit on 2/3 of our people that follow after that deception and their lying wonders. All right. And all their works is after the works of Satan, man, the devil. And that's Esau, that mystery of iniquity. All right. Julius Caesar. All right. So this is what you call a lunar calendar. All right. Lunar represents what? The moon. All right. Lunes. So today is the, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know what the hell the day is. Let me see. All right. Today is the 20th. Now, according to the Bible, you're supposed to go from what? From evening to evening. And that's a day. So the next new moon, and Apostle Hart just put this out there, that the next new moon is on the 25th, on December. All right, that's that day that they celebrate, that wicked holiday, man, Christmas. And it just so happens that a lot supposed to happen on that day. You got the impeachment process kicking up. You have the markets may crash on that day. You just don't know. You know, the equities market could crash. The cryptocurrency could crash or melt up, either one. There's so much that could happen between now and that day and following that day. All right. So that's the day that everybody worships these pagan idols and the sun, moon, and stars once again. All right. They worshiping Zeus. They worshiping Nimrod, all these different idols on December 25th. All right. Saturnalia. It has nothing to do with the birth of Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai was born in the springtime. All right, so-called Negro. But anyway, you have the new moon, a new month beginning. It says 12:13 a.m. So this would be before sundown. So that would mean you would go the day before. All right. So that would be on the 25th. All right. The 25th at evening starts your new moon, your new month, all the way until the next evening. And then going into the 26th at evening, you'll start your first day. And then so on and so on until your what? Your Sabbath day, which would be the 7th day. All right. So the true calendar would be Yawam, which means day, and whatever number or digit represents that day. Not according to Monday, Tuesday, all these pagans, idols. All right. So I'm going to end it here, man. But you have all these pagan demonic idols, man. All right. Paganism goes back to Satanism, going back to Greeks. But even before this, after this, you have, or before this, because these terminologies, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, these are English terminologies. Then you have the pagan term Freya Day, you know, Thor's Day and all that. And two, right here, Tuesday. That goes back to Anglo-Saxon. All right, those are Edomites, the ones that came and took down the Byzantine Empire. All right, took us into slavery, I should say. But then you have going back to Rome, they called it Sol for sun, S-O-L. All right. Evictus, and so on and so on. So the terminology of the days of the weeks have been changing in different kingdoms. But you got to peel back the layers to find the truth. It's like unraveling an onion. All right, or a ball of yarn. You pull one string and it just keep on pulling. But with that, I want to say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem Harakah Kodash, Mama. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth and have not been, even if you were deceived, you been edified and, woken up to the fact that these days, the system, these months, these words that we speak in English is all vanity, all Esau's imagination, And with that, I'm going to say shalom.